Hello, everyone. This is Mario Infantes, and I have the great pleasure of having Andrew Patterson with me today. How you doing, man? I'm pretty good. Uh, we had some trouble before starting. Like he was getting some furniture delivered. My girlfriend is assassinating the freezer here, but yeah. Wait. Sorry. You were very quiet on my stream, but now you should be good. Can you try the?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, that's it. Perfectly. Now it's
right.
good, right? Like someone in the chat was saying that he's super quiet, but he should be good now. Yeah,
Oh, here.
perfect.
I'll turn myself up.
No, 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 no.
More.
It was my
Okay.
it was a thing of mine on my
Okay.
stream. That's no problem.
I won't touch a damn thing then. We're
No,
good.
no, no. I hear you perfectly. Like, it should be fine now.
Cool.
Well, Andrew, I don't know much about you. I've definitely heard about your band and about yourself. Actually, before even we were friends on Facebook, I remember Danny from my band talking about you. I remember.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And-
awesome because Cold of Lilith is. I heard that album that y'all put out, and I was just like, "Yo, this dude wants to talk to me. That's tight. This album rips." So yeah,
man.
mutual feeling, man. I've always heard a lot.
Thanks, dude. I use these chats basically to get to know people better now that I have, let's say, the platform to do it.
Right.
I use it to get to know people better and to use these chats so that they can promote their own stuff for sure. Since, I mean, to be honest, right now I don't have much to promote. Like, I wish we could tour or something, and probably there'd be
Right.
something going on. But at the end, it's pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. But you
Yeah.
guys, you just released an album, right?
A single so far. I'm going to
Just
start
a single?
releasing an album. Yeah, just a single.
Okay.
It's the debut single for my project YUNALESCA. The song's called
Yes.
Dance of Black. However, I am going to start releasing a single, or not a single. I'm going to be releasing an album within the next couple of months, starting around the middle of May with the first single. And then, so there'll be 11 songs out total this year.
Sick.
But yeah, so I wanted to start out with kind of like an appetizer with the first single,
Nice.
and then kind of just work its way up to the album. But yeah, no, the album will start rolling out next month.
For
Or actually,
some
no,
reason, I
it's
thought-
May now. So
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
so this month you'll start seeing some album stuff come out. I'm gonna do
Sick.
pre-orders.
Are you gonna like keep releasing stuff like this, like one single
Yeah.
at a time?
Yeah, basically this is all I'm doing. I'm gonna release that single. I'm gonna release 4 singles for the album. The album will come
Uh-huh.
out probably in July, and then I'm just gonna keep making it, keep rolling it out, just whenever it's done. I'm just having fun with it, honestly. At this point, I'm just trying to like create some awesome riffs and have a good time, man.
Sick, man. Awesome. And you were in other bands before, right? Like YUNALESCA is your latest project, or
Yeah, so YUNALESCA is me kind of deciding that I don't find myself suited best for band situations. So I'm kind of going on like more of a solo kind of thing, kind of just doing this more for just my creative freedom than anything else. But no, previously I was in a gent project called Lunaform, and then also I was in a deathcore band known as And Hell Followed With, which some people may know.
okay?
Yeah, and Hell Followed With put out an album 10 years ago called Proprioception. They came back with me on the vocals for an EP in 2019, and then I just decided like that was kind of my litmus test to see like, hey, so do you like this touring thing? And I tried it out, and it just wasn't really my thing. Like, I want to travel, I want to
It
see
is.
the world, and I want to
Yeah,
meet
I mean,
people, but I want to do it. I want to do it in my own capacity, though. I don't want to
Yeah.
like go venue to venue. Like, I want to like for example, I'd love to go to like Tokyo and spend 2 weeks there. Or honestly, like for example, I really want to come to Reykjavik one day.
Reykjavik is
that's
beautiful, man.
dude, it's one of my dream destinations. But like that's kind of the thing with like the touring and the band thing, is that it's like over the last decade I've tried it for so long, and I'm finally realizing that it's not what I want to do with music. So that's what YUNALESCA came into play, and I've kind of just been sitting in my bedroom here, just riffing stuff out, making songs, and just putting it out for fun, just trying to enjoy myself, man. Way less stressful this way.
I'm curious. Like, of course, I don't want names or anything, but what exactly made you really uncomfortable about bands? Was it like the differences in artistic decisions and stuff, or?
Honestly, like I think a part of it isn't really anyone's particular fault, but it's more the fact that I feel like I almost like threw away like what I really wanted in music in order to do these things. So for example, like a lot of the bands I've been in haven't been like to a T like the fit that I'm looking for in music. They're generally like like right outside the realm of it though. So it's like I'm almost there with bands every single time, but then it's just like stuff's made that I'm not quite just jiving with as well. So it's one of those things where it's just like for me it was just really a matter of just kind of taking the creative control and kind of just literally just making what I want. Like basically the whole goal for the project is let's make music that you want to listen to, as in like me. I want to listen to this. I want to write a song like this. So it's one of those things where it's just like I'm really just getting the fulfillment that I want out of music instead of maybe helping bring someone else's vision of life, which is nothing wrong with it. I thoroughly enjoy doing the whole vocalist thing. I've done it for 10, almost 11 years, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know, man. There's just something. I think a lot of it was the pandemic happening, and it kind of forced me to reposition myself a little bit because obviously no one was touring, and it gave me so much free time at home to reevaluate things.
Yeah,
I picked up one of my guitars and just went to town, and the next thing I know, I'm like, let me do this. And then a couple months later, I just decided that I like this a lot more. And then honestly, like I said, like I want to travel in a different way than touring. Like touring's cool. I got to meet people that have supported me for years. But at the end of the day, man, like it just my heart wasn't happy. Like so I wasn't musically fulfilled the way I wanted to be. So I stepped back and basically found a new way to realign myself with music, and I'm having a lot more fun with it. But no, to answer your question in the short, it wasn't anyone in particular's fault. No one wronged me or anything. It's just one of those things where it's just like a lot of time and a lot of experience just kind of culminated into this final thought, and it just like, okay, this is what you need to do, and then I don't know. Like I just feel so much better about making music now, just because I'm not forcing myself into an environment that I'm not necessarily, about. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like there's parts of touring that I love. There's parts of being in bands that I love, but there's just something about the way I'm doing it now that just excels beyond that.
Awesome, dude. It's funny that you said that about traveling and touring. I don't consider touring close to traveling at all. Like, yeah, it's not even close to, at least on the way I think of traveling. I like to know a lot about the country, about the place I'm visiting and stuff. When you're touring, you don't have that much time at all.
I guess what I mean by that traveling is more in the sense that you are traveling as your band. But I mean, there's a difference between going a venue to venue and meeting new people who like your music, and actually just immersing yourself into an entirely new culture. That's a whole different story.
Exactly. That's definitely what I consider more traveling. Like involving yourself in the culture and trying food and all that. Yeah.
Yep. I just want to spend a couple weeks somewhere, get lost, enjoy their food, enjoy their culture, man. That's all I really want at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. When you guys come to Iceland, hit me up. We'll definitely get to.
Me and my wife have been trying to plan that trip for a minute. Like we're ready to come to Iceland, dude. It's like for example, one of my favorite bands is out there, Agent Fresco.
Dude, Agent Fresco is fucking sick.
Dude,
they are really cool people. Like.
I bet. I have no doubts.
Man, they're also one of my favorite bands. For like, hands down, awesome. One of my favorite bands. They're so fucking talented. Destrier. Yeah, Destrier is easily one of my top 5 albums, probably.
Same.
I've listened to that album so many times, like countless times.
Yeah, that album has got me through some crap, to say the least. Like it's one of those albums that I just put on, and I feel so much better listening to that music, man.
It's insane, dude. It's so good. Like I wish I really don't know because I don't talk to them much. Like I've talked to them a few times, but
yeah.
What the fuck is up with the new album, man? Come on, it's been when was this straight up?
They've talked about that album for like the last year or two.
Yeah,
like it's been done for a while, I think.
Yeah. I remember listening to a new song on a live gig like 2 or 3 yeis ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
it's nothing since.
Yeah, so I have to talk to them. Like, what the fuck, guys?
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, like, the street is fucking amazing for sure. Where are you located now?
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
States.
Okay.
Yeah, in the South.
It's 1 p.m. now. There.
12:16 p.m. So it's a little
12.
afternoon.
Okay, I thought. Oh man, I always fuck up with this time difference. Like,
Because let's see, it's 5:16 over there.
it's 5:16. Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised there's only a 5-hour difference. I figured it'd be way more than that.
Only 5 hours.
That's really not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was at least 7 or something.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like 7 or 8.
Yeah, okay.
But I guess that might be more like Russia from here. I think like Ukraine, it's like 7 hours ahead from me.
Yeah, there are 2 hours in Spain, for example, is CET, so it's 2 hours more.
Yeah.
So that would be 7.
Okay, yeah, that makes complete sense.
All right, man. So I have plenty of questions, of course.
Sure.
Normally, what I have, different questions for different type of musicians and stuff. Since you're a vocalist, I always like to ask about influences, regarding voice, lyrical content, and like attitude and all that. Like, I wanna know what's your influence, like, or what makes you, what's your influence basically?
So starting out, whenever I first started doing vocals and everything, the biggest influence, bar none, was probably Randy Bly from Lamb of God.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people make that out in my mid-range because I feel like I basically just took his mid-range sound. I'm like, here, I'm gonna borrow that. Thanks. No, but him and Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, which I know is another cliche.
Phil is a fucking beast, man.
It's like, yeah, man, it's one of like the first people you really heard like make like gutturals like that, where they're just super articulate and strong.
I always say, up until, because I was never too much into deathcore. Like, I like it, but I don't know much about the genre.
Right.
But I remember perfectly the moment in which I saw those. It was the Mitch Lacker Memorial with Phil singing. I think it was Unanswered.
Yep, it's iconic.
That part was the first time ever that I saw like Phil's vocals. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Probably you guys were more used to that kind of vocals than more the fucking toilet flushing vocals. But for me, that was my first time, and I was like, "What the fuck is this, man?" Yeah, and I think he was by far the best vocalist in that whole Memorial thing.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
In my opinion,
like, honestly, that's a lot of people's opinion. A lot of people feel that way about that whole performance. So I think you're good with that.
I really like Randy also, but with Randy was more the attitude, like the fucking he just devoured that fucking stage,
There's just an unmatched energy with him on stage.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that drew me to him in the first place. It was just like obviously unique tone in his voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's the way he carries those shows, man. Like, I've been to, I think, 3 Lamb of God shows now, and every single one, all different venues, sizes, and everything. Like, just no matter what, he commands that fucking place.
Sick. I think that's that is some talent. Like, and that's also regarding your personality. I think you can't force that thing, if that makes sense. No, you can be better at it. Like, you can of course get better at your attitude on stage, but when someone is just that talented as a frontman, let's say also like Freddie Mercury and stuff, you can get better, but you can't have that just, he was born with that kind of talent.
Exactly. That particular kind of energy comes naturally. You either have it or you don't. And like you said, like, you can get better at being a showman, but no, being like that, that's a natural born skill, man.
Absolutely. For me, it's also like Devin Townsend, for example. I've seen him live, and I was like, wow, this dude just fucking rules the stage, and it's so easy for him.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because he's such an introverted. And he said that in interviews, like, I don't like crowds. Every time I go on a stage, I just don't like crowds. I don't like to be in front of people, but, it's his job.
I'm sure you get it too, though. Like, being on a stage, like, there's being in a crowd of people, but then there's being on a stage in front of a crowd of people. Thing. It's 2 different things.
But it's because you're performing. Yeah, like, you're performing a role. Yeah. It's like and you're an actor basically there. You're doing a performance, so of course it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like with like that kind of thing, like you just get so engrossed and lost in it that like you can't really like consider the crowd size because you're too busy just in the moment. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's why a lot of like introverted people are metal musicians because that's like their one time they can fucking shine outside of their shell where they won't be judging themselves the whole time. Well, actually, maybe after their set they'll be judging themselves, but you get what I mean. Like in the
I used to
interim,
do
like
that, yeah. I used to judge myself so hard after the gigs, but then at some point I was like, "What is the fucking point of this? You know, why am I doing this? Why am I going on stage and then fucking being depressed after the gig? Like, what's the fucking point? I do this for fun, you know. I do this because I love it, not because I want to judge myself or if I care if someone judges me, you know. That changed my whole point, like my whole way of making music and just doing gigs and stuff, like." For sure.
Yeah, once you let go of the outside criticism and kind of just learn to walk your own stride, man, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things that you just can't read into too much because no matter how fucking good you are, people are gonna criticize you.
Of course.
It doesn't matter. Like you can be the best of the best, and someone's still gonna be like has some stupid fucking comment to say.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just can't read into it. And I'm sure even some of those people do read into it sometimes and psych themselves out. So.
Absolutely. There's something you said before when we're talking about embarking yourself in doing YUNALESCA as a solo project and stuff. You were saying that you want to do the music you want to listen to.
Right.
And that really clicked because that is exactly what we did with Mara, our album. Like I remember perfectly, and this is gonna sound funny to you, but I remember perfectly because I've been doing music for, I don't know, 16 years or something. But it got to a point before doing this album that I, quote unquote, gave up on the dream, you know, or whatever, or making it. I was just like, dude, I'm tired. I'm fucking exhausted of this whole thing. So for this album, I'm not going to give a fuck about anything. And I'm going to do exactly whatever the fuck I want. Like I'm gonna do the album exactly, and like, I think all the guys in the probably they were not as negative in that giving up way, but we were all saying like we're gonna do the album we want to listen to, you know, and we don't care if no one fucking cares about it, you know.
I mean, that's what's great about it too. Is dude, no one sounds like you. Like you've
Thanks,
made your own thing happen, man. And if you're not aware of that, I'm making sure you're aware of that before we leave this call. But yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like what you're saying is true. Like you are 100% your true unadulterated self on that album, and it's so worth it. It's what makes it that much better, man.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. That's a huge compliment. I consider that a huge compliment. Like finding your own sound. It has taken time, a lot of time.
Oh, no doubt.
But it's I guess it's just like we just didn't care, you know. And it's funny, like when we finished the album, we started sending the album to labels and no one gave a shit. Like we were like, well, we were thinking about releasing it independently and that's it. But we are awful businessmen. Like I'm the first one. Like I'm awful at everything marketing related. I'm actually absolutely shit.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy that Metal Blade got interested in us because if business came to us, like if we had to be the ones doing business, man, it would have been terrible. Let me tell you that.
God, no doubt, man.
Yeah,
no, it's hard, man, to be like in charge of everything. There's too much. There's way too much to do. It's like the best part of having a label is that like, yeah, there's some downsides to it, but like if you get a good contract, there's so much shit you don't have to take care of anymore.
Yeah, man, it's insane. And also the amount of exposure we had with the label. If that would have depended on us, we wouldn't have got that reach for sure. Because we are not good in social media, we are not good in marketing. We are, you know, we just like to write shit. That's
how long have y'all been a band now?
I think I'm not sure when they started because I joined the band in 2017. I think yes. I joined the band in 2017 and they had an old demo.
Okay.
Before that. And I think Well, I mean, Danny has been brewing these songs. Danny is the main writer of the band, and he's been brewing the songs in Mara for I don't fucking know, like probably 10 years,
God,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
finally
yeah.
coming to fruition.
Exactly. And he put up this EP in 2016, I think. And then the vocalist he left the band, and I moved to Iceland just then, and that's how we met each other.
That's huge. To
It
just
was
move a whole country for music.
funny coincidence, yeah.
That's a bold move, but it paid off.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I of course miss some stuff from Spain. Food mostly. My family, of course.
Oh man, no doubt.
But I'm happy
you
here.
Can't beat the food.
Yeah, man, the food is insane in Spain. I'm not gonna fucking lie, and I do miss it, and of course my family, and stuff. But I'm pretty happy here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think half of what I've done in music to this day would have happened if I would have remained in Spain. So
It's crazy, just what that'll do, man. Just making those big leaps like that.
Absolutely, and Iceland is a very small country. Like it's it's like 360,000 people, the whole population of the country.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was that small.
Yeah, and 2/3 of the population live in Reykjavik, in the city. So
Of course, yeah.
it's very small. But there are many musicians from here. It's amazing the quantity of artists per capita here.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's long winters and like bad weather. So
it's just such a beautiful country that they're just inspired constantly by it.
It is, man. It is a fucking gorgeous country. And after 5 years, I do travel a lot around Iceland. Like, I think I've been in. I'm pretty sure I've been in more places here in Iceland than the guys from my band, than my bandmates. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But after 5 years traveling here, I still discover new places and new fucking jewels here.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's such a beautiful country. It's not big, and also there's the middle of the island, which is it's pretty wild. That's probably the area that I've been the least, because you need a huge ass car to go in there, because you have to cross rivers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, if you guys come, let me know. I will definitely take you to the good places.
It might be a little bit, but it's a must. It's a must happen.
Yeah, how's the vaccination and stuff there?
Vaccinations?
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty readily available now.
Okay.
My wife just got her Thursdays. I've got both of mine. As of about 9 days ago, I got my second one.
Really?
So I'm
sick.
Yeah, I'm fully vaccinated. Yeah, no. Overall, they're pretty readily available. It just depends if you're one of those people that are actually going to want to get one or not, because a lot of people are still a little apprehensive about it. Which that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no. Overall, man, like if you want it, you can get it here. It's just a matter of you doing it.
Yeah.
But I was ready to. I got my passport like 4 months before all of the COVID stuff went down. So like I'm trying to go do shit. I'm trying to go like I said, come visit Reykjavik, come visit wherever. Like I want to go do stuff. Like yeah, I'm gonna get vaccinated. Like I'm not gonna wait.
I'm the same. I'm not like super excited for a vaccine, because there's not much research on it. But I don't care. Like if anything can be done to fucking finish this thing as soon as possible, then go for it. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking. So how are you dealing with the whole solo project? For me, it's super curious, and definitely it's not like I'm trying to to get the tricks from you, because I wouldn't be able to do this solo. Like I want to be in a band.
Yeah.
Also because of that, because one, I'm not good at writing music. I'm good at writing vocals, and lyrics and stuff, but not like instrumentals and stuff. I'm not good at that. And two, I'm awful at marketing, as I said. So I want to be in a team. I work good in a team. So how do you do it?
So in a way, like I do have a team, kind of like yes and no. So I'll just kind of break down like what exactly happens. So where I'm sitting now, this is the riff station. I sit down. I sit down with one of the guitars. I just kind of noodle a little bit. A riff will come, and I shit you not, dude. I literally map all my songs just to a click. It's guitar and a click. That's it. I map up the whole song that way, and then I send it off to a drummer that I know.
Okay, cool.
He maps out all the drums. He sends it back. I do like the MIDI bass. Because we're using, I think, Jin bass for all the bass, because I don't own an actual bass. But basically no. So like I write the songs to guitar. I send them off. The drums get done. I get them back. I do the final guitar tracks. I add the bass to it, and then I write all the vocals. And I send it off to an engineer, Anthony DiGiacomo. He does my mixing and mastering for me. He does all the tones. So basically, like, I have a team. It's just that, like, it's me writing everything, minus the drums. And the reason why I don't bother with the drums is I'd much rather, like, focus my time on actually writing and then worrying about trying to map something out that I only halfway understand. Like, I get drums, but anything I make as drums will not sound like a drummer's drums. So if I hire an actual drummer to do it, then my songs will actually have a little bit more life to them, because it actually appears like a drummer did it. But yeah, no, I technically have a drummer that I do everything with, and then all I'm really writing at the end of the day is just the guitar, the vocals, and then I guess kind of the bass, even though most of the bass just follows the guitar for the most part. There's some parts where I kind of program it to step out. But no, all in all, man, it's pretty streamlined, straightforward. But yeah, it's not like I'm doing this completely solo. I'm not like playing the drums. I'm not mixing and mastering it. The hardest part, though, like you were saying, is just the PR, man. Trying to promote it. Like, I've been like trying to do this kind of music stuff for like 11 years now, and like I've got like a little bit of a following together, but man, it's still so hard to get music out. Like, I think on Spotify, like, the song's been out for, I don't know, like 3 weeks. It only has like 1,500 views on it.
That's
the
pretty
music
cool.
video has like 16. It's not bad by myself. But it's just one of those things where it's just like every little bit of just building up to it and trying to like plan out and keep up to date with all of the socials, and just trying to, like, for example, like, I have this whole Google Calendar mapped out with the entire album release, and like trying to keep up with that and making sure I have all my posts mapped and scheduled. Just a lot going on with it. But you know, again, it's one of those things where it's just like, the biggest reason that I like doing this all by myself is because I'm the only obstruction. If things stop and they aren't moving in the direction they need to be, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at anyone else. I get mad at me. So in turn, I have to light that fire under my ass. And honestly, it's just, I think having that and having that kind of self-perpetuating need to continue because of that, just it just helps me make sure that I'm constantly trying to create and just constantly writing. And that's what I try to do anyways. Like even though I've got stuff planned out for like the rest of the year, like obviously I'm still writing. Is what musician doesn't want to. But yeah, no, that was long-winded, but yes. So I'm managing by myself, but I definitely have people that have helped me along the way, and this would not be possible without them. So
cool. Are you planning to take it live at some point, or you just wanna, like, I think what was the name of this band? Spirit Box. They're taking it, like, I don't think they're doing live gigs. They're just like kind of writing stuff and releasing singles from time to time.
With Spirit Box, I think they're creating, want to do shows.
They will do shows eventually, right?
It's just, yeah, of course. I think the biggest issue with them is just the timing of everything. Because like, but before, yeah, they only put out the EPs. And then they went on to like start releasing the singles, and I feel like there probably was supposed to be a lot more happening the last year and a half for them. But because I know they have like a couple of festivals they've announced.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not sure.
How about you? Like, are you planning on taking the band live at some point?
Sorry. It's one of those things where it's like it's up in the air. It's like I certainly have enough songs to do it, but it would involve. So, for example, the drummer that did everything, he's the drummer of Hunt the Dinosaur, which is a deathcore band, and Bro Job, which is, I'm sure you've heard of Bro Job, just another goofy deathcore band. But no, so, for example, I don't know what kind of commitments he would have, so it's working around him. And on top of that, I decided if I were to play shows, I'd probably just end up playing guitar. since that's kind of like half of the inspiration for this is just being able to create music.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably have a buddy who I'd hire on for vocals, and then all I'd have to do after that, figure out if I need a second guitar player, figure out a bass player, and then again, if got to see if the drummer is even available or has the scheduling to do it. Maybe one day though. It's one of those things where I'm certainly not pushing for it to happen because I mean, for example, I don't even own an amp right now. Everything is through my computer through the VSTs and stuff because that's just the way of the bedroom guitarist.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if there was enough demand for it, and I could feasibly do it and not just hemorrhage a ton of fucking money. And if I had the gear, of course, and of course the people to do it with me, absolutely, I would like to do like maybe like I don't know, like 5 or 6 days, like just small little runs, just something to where I could be like, yeah, I'm gonna play this music live for a couple people. Nothing crazy though. I don't have. I mean, yeah, I mean to be honest, I just don't have any crazy large ambitions for this project. Honestly, at the end of the day, for me, like it's not even a big deal if like thousands of people don't hear it. I'm just happy to have like a small collective of people who are enjoying it in the first place. So shows would be one of those just humongous added bonuses at the end if it ever happened.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. There's someone in the chat saying that Spirit Box is indeed doing live. They're on roster for upcoming festivals. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I saw them on Download Fest. I think was one of them. I'm not certain, but I've seen a couple posts they've made about festivals, which I'm glad to see shows are back, to be honest with you. Even if it's not in full just yet, but a lot of places are finally bringing them back.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a good sign. I know some places are still struggling with COVID, but I know a lot of people are hurting without their music, man. So
yeah. You were saying before when you were talking about taking YUNALESCA to a live set, would you rather do vocals or play guitar?
Probably guitar.
Yeah, you prefer doing guitar.
I'll tell you why that is. Like I said, a lot of it was that the foundation of this project was kind of me refining love for guitar, because I played guitar for longer than I've done vocals, actually. Not a lot of people know that. But it's just one of those things that I've always taken like a back seat and kind of been on the back burner. But with COVID happening, COVID's actually the reason why I started YUNALESCA. Because I needed something positive to kind of funnel my energy into.
Yeah.
But no, so I'd want to play guitar. I've always had a love for guitar. This would be my way to kind of finally do it. And like I said, I have a buddy of mine, Logan Adams. He's from the band Eternal Void. They're a metalcore band from Dayton, Ohio. I'd probably end up hiring him for vocals just because he has the range to do it. And honestly, a reason why I wouldn't do the vocals myself is because I feel like I'd have a harder time finding someone to do the guitar parts. But also, secondly, is that there's just a lot of stuff range-wise that I do on this album. Because, spoiler alert, I actually do like a decent bit of singing on this album, and not a lot of people know that I do that either. So, but it's one of those things where it's just like, it's not something I think I could replicate live. I just don't know that I could do it live as well as someone else could do it. And if I could like bring a friend along that I know would have a good time with me on the road, and I know that he would be able to kill the material because of how wide of a range he is as a singer, then yeah, I would much rather like bring a good buddy along for the ride and just have him do it.
Pretty cool. I bet. I mean, I have very little experience with. I know it's different in the States. Like you guys, I feel like touring for you guys in the States is super common, like very very natural. In bands, even if the bands are not like super huge or whatever, like in Europe, I think it's a bit different with touring and stuff. I'm way more in Spain. Like you have to be a fairly big band.
Yeah.
So I've been in just one big tour basically, and it was around Spain. So I don't know much about touring, but you definitely want to feel comfortable with the people you are traveling with. That's for sure.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, I haven't done much touring either myself. I did 2 tours, and I don't even know if I'd really call them tours because they were short. And that was with Hell Followed With. It's like I did 2 weeks on the first one, and I did like a week on the second one. It really wasn't that much, but like I said, it was enough for me to kind of gauge if I actually enjoyed that kind of lifestyle or not. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. Like I got to meet like tons of people that have followed me or bought my other music over the years. So touring like certainly has its perks, but I can understand why people wouldn't like it either, because not being at home in the comfort of your house.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about you, but I'm a homebody, man.
Dude, I fucking love my house.
I love it. All I want to do is fucking kick back with my puppies, man. I just want to hang out with the dog. It's like, fuck, I can't do that on the road.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, it all kind of harkens back also just wanting to just actually travel one day. And I still work a real job. I work my 40 hours a week, and like
same here.
I don't want to. I can't use all my paid time off on tours because then I don't get to go on actual vacations and go to cool places where I actually can, like we talked about earlier, man, just immersing yourself in the culture.
Exactly.
And really getting into that. So, I mean, maybe doing YUNALESCA on a smaller kind of like tour is like 4 or 5 dates total at a time. But I think that'd be a lot of fun. It'd be far less exhausting too, I think.
Yeah, I'm honestly terrified of big tours, to be honest. Not because of. Yeah, honestly the only thing I fear from touring is the loss of comfort. You know what I mean?
There's that, and there's like the whole variables. I mean, I don't know how it is in Europe, but I know like there's like multiple cities in the States where if you're a touring band, you need to be fucking careful. Like I've seen too many stories. I think it's St. Louis, in the States. Like so many bands have gotten robbed, and like their fucking vans just tons of shit lost.
No. Like, it happens in Europe for sure. It happens in Spain. I've heard many stories. Yeah.
I mean, bad people are everywhere, so naturally, yeah.
Yeah, not in Iceland. Like in Iceland, it would be extremely rare because I mean we are so few, and the country's doing okay, But in the rest of Europe, for sure, it happens. You have to be careful. So yeah, that is also fucking exhausting. You always have to be on guard, basically.
Exactly, and that's not comfortable. I mean, granted, even if you're just a tourist somewhere, you have to keep your guard up. But like being a band with all that equipment, like thousands of dollars of equipment, like yeah, it's a huge difference between just kind of wandering around with some pocket change and having a whole van worth of shit.
Is there any experience that you went through when you were touring that you said, okay, I'm done. I'm done with fucking touring. You know what I mean? Like something that made you like completely click with the decision.
So like the only like really like the like they're so stupid, but like the two basic examples. Like okay, so I'll preface this by saying I don't like my sleep being fucked with. I want to sleep well. So for example, when I'm sleeping in a van in what's basically like summertime Florida, like it's so humid in Florida. Florida is so goddamn humid, and it's like you wake up at 7:00 in the morning and it's already 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Shit, that's like 30 something, 40 almost, I think.
Yeah, no, it's
Celsius.
hot as fuck, especially for like 7 a.m. So it's one of those things where it's like waking up in like all hours of the night, just feeling like sticky and disgusting is just a bad feeling. Or the polar opposite, being stuck in someone's house and like for some reason their AC's on like 55 degrees and then like you're just like freezing your ass off and like all the blankets were taken already. Just like sleep,
and you were the vocalist back then, right?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I was the vocalist too. So you got to think about that because that the show after that night, where I was freezing my ass off. Of course, I had like a light cold because naturally, like my sinuses got all fucked up. I was like full of boogers and stuff. Like I couldn't breathe properly. Like yeah, so like especially as a vocalist, I got to get my adequate amount of sleep. I'm putting out a lot of energy. Like
yeah, and that's definitely what terrifies me also a bit because yeah, being a vocalist, you need, I mean, I'm not saying that you need more rest than the rest of the band, but it definitely shows way more in your voice if you didn't sleep well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely experienced that by like day 6 or day 7 out of like the 14 dates that we did on that first tour. Mm-hmm. Like that's right around the time that one night I was telling you about where I was freezing my fucking dick off happened. And then like, of course, like the next 2 or 3 shows after that, my voice is just shot. Like I'm still like, people are still like being awesome and be like, yo, great set. You sounded amazing. And in my head, I'm just like, what the fuck were you listening to? Cause no, like this, like, Like, have you ever like been on one of those performances? You're just having one of those off nights because your voice is just fucked up, and like you hit like a certain vocal, and it just does not come out the way you want it to. It's just
but dude, we are so much into our own heads. You know the band Leprous?
Leprous, yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands also. And
Amazing.
I was talking with Einar, the vocalist. I was chatting with them, and he was telling me that at first he was also very paranoid with that. You know, he was going on tour. I was always like, oh fuck, I sounded like shit, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about fucking Einar. Like, Einar for me, it's it's one of the fucking best. But at some point he remember he was touring with a band, with a kind of smaller band, right? That they were opening from them. And he remembers seeing them before going on set. And the guitarist of the band went down on stage and said, "Oh, dude, we did such a fucking awful set." And this was like the 10th time they were playing together on this tour. And Einar was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it sounded awesome to me, you know." And then he thought about himself, like, I'm doing the same thing, you know, like going down on stage and saying like, "Oh, we did such a fucking awful job," or whatever. But it's just, we are all inside of our heads for way too long, and then people don't fucking care, you know. People are just there to have fun. They're not there to judge you like, "Oh, he didn't hit the fucking note," or whatever, you know.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you as the singer, like, there's certain like nuances to your voice and very very specific things that only you will ever notice. And it's just like,
absolutely.
So for example, it's like yeah, you might miss the mark in your head, but on the outside, on someone else's perspective, like, their standard of you is just so high that it's not going to matter sometimes.
Absolutely. And there's so many aspects to a gig, you know, to a performance.
Yeah, it's so much more than the 2 seconds you fucked up.
Exactly.
That only you fucked up. The whole other band's still there. Like,
unless, I don't know, like, unless you are fucking drunk the whole set or something and you're fucking up the whole time.
Yeah.
You know? And then, of course, it shows. Yeah. But I think we get too much into our own heads with this thing.
Absolutely.
And it just doesn't matter. Like, at the end, people want to have fun and want to just kind of alienate themselves from their lives or whatever, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, for the people that are out in the crowd, this is an experience to take themselves away from whatever's happening in their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
For us, however, especially as vocalists, it's like, you got to think, like, this is an expression of our actual voice. So it's like, I understand when people freak out like that, because of course, like I've been saying, I go through the same thing. We all do.
Me too, of course.
But it's one of those things. I feel like being a vocalist, like, it's such a personal thing, whether you're singing or screaming. It is. Like, if you fuck up, like, you kind of, like, it just weighs on you that much more, because it's literally you. Like, playing guitar is you, but the voice and the output that you're making, that is truly you.
And I know you're gonna agree with this. I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with this. Would you rather sing in a stage in front of 13,000 people or in a room with 5 people?
To be frank, I would rather sing in front of no one, because I hate singing in front of people. But but I hear you though. No, like, for some reason, like, yeah, like, that 13,000 people would for some reason be more comfortable than the 5.
Way more. Like, 13 people doesn't even feel like people, you know. It's just like a mass of
I mean, you gotta think about it. Like, when you're on stage, like, I think the biggest crowd I've ever played to once upon a time was like 300 people, which isn't like a lot, but it's a good amount for someone with my experience. But, like, it's such a blur. Like, you can't fucking tell anyone apart.
You don't
like,
fucking care.
You're so here. It's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta. My line of sight is always above everyone's head, so I'm not looking at anyone. So it's as if they're not even there.
Yeah. But if you're in a room with like 4 people that you can.
Though, yeah,
you can smell.
Their gaze just stares through you. It's just like,
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny, but it's like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely getting better at that with time, and also, I think it's a combination of getting more comfortable on your own craft, getting, you know, better basically, and caring less of what people might think. It's a combination of both, for sure.
That's the hard part, man. I mean, truth be told, it's hard to not give a fuck about what people have to say, because at the end of the day, especially like with the kind of social media world we live in, like, think about it. We're constantly giving people's opinions. We're constantly thinking about that kind of shit. So even outside of just the voice being the personification of yourself via your music, it's just so hard because of that kind of shit. It's just the way that we've been ingrained because of like just the way our culture is now.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot actually about the whole thing, like how like it's getting too much for me lately, honestly. Like the whole social media game and stuff. I've been in the last 2-3 months, I think it was also because of the lack of touring, so I felt like I needed to be productive. So I've been trying to learn a lot about Twitch, about YouTube, about social media in general and stuff.
There's so much.
And now, dude, I'm starting to feel it. Like, I just want to fucking play a video game in solitude, you know? And just fucking do shit all, you know? I've been like this week, I've been like this. I've been working on some vocals, but outside of that, I've been just like, dude, I'm just going to play Red Dead Redemption 2 that I started this week. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Man, that's the hard part for me. It's like, I don't know if you ever go through like what I call video game fatigue, but like I love games, but I have not picked up a fucking video game in months. Like, even if I like right now in my head, I'm like, I want to do what you're talking about. I want to sit down over there and play some games and have a good time, but like, I don't know, like sometimes you just play so much that you just don't want to fucking play it, even if you want to. And that's what I'm going through. So now it's just like, it's either I'm sitting around doing fucking nothing, or I'm sitting here like writing songs or like tracking vocals and stuff. So I'm trying to like get that fire back for video games, because that's one of the best releases.
It's just, for me, video games are not entertaining anymore, you know? It's not just like having fun. For me, video games are an experience. That's why also I choose my games very carefully, you know? Like I really want to play games that, you know, give me something, basically. Like for me it's important, you know? It's like watching a very good movie. Like I want to do stuff that really gives me an experience, right? And with video games, I have got that fatigue, but for me, the fatigue, I would probably spend months without playing, like, you know, story-driven, like single-player long games, but I will still play from time to time some like multiplayer, like some online stuff.
I think that's actually my problem too. Is that all I played for the longest time was Apex Legends, which is multiplayer. I think I just burnt myself out, and like ever since, like I think the only game I've played since was Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I like beat that like within the 3 days of it coming out, which was like a year ago. So other than that game, I haven't touched a fucking thing. I'm just like, nope, nothing's gonna touch that game. I'm good.
Nah, dude, I can't stop. I think I would be a successful musician today if I didn't play video games, but I don't care. Like,
there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part of my personality, you know. By now, I thought there was a time in which I felt really bad about playing, you know, like, oh, this is so unproductive, like I should be practicing or studying and blah blah blah. But nowadays I'm like, dude, this is me, you know, like there's no way.
You have to treat yourself. You have to pat yourself on the back sometimes. You have to give yourself a treat, you know.
For me, I don't know if this is for you, but for me, in order to be productive, I need to feel there's being some time a day in which I was not productive, if that makes sense.
I think so, yeah.
It makes me fucking sad if I spend an entire day working. Does that make sense? Like, I like my work, you know, I like my work and I like working on vocals and stuff, but I also need to fucking just relax and chill, you know?
Yeah, balance is important. That's the thing, is that that's kind of another thing that kind of drove YUNALESCA, is that like I've been pushing the vocal stuff for fucking ever, and I kind of burnt myself out. And I'm just like, I kind of need to step back and do something different. So I feel you. Like, just trying to grind for years and years and have like very little come from it, you kind of burn yourself out. So that's like a whole other thing. It's like, yeah, you need to take breaks. You need to be able to treat yourself and do other things. Like, one of my biggest things, for example, like honestly, most of my free time, I'm smoking on my couch and I'm watching travel vlogs like Bald and Bankrupt or Harold Balder or I have this one Russian guy no fuck is that I watch, and he like shows off his like town in Chelyabinsk and talks about all this crazy shit. Like that's kind of shit that I get lost in my free time. Is just like that's why I want to travel and not tour travel, but travel.
Yeah, travel, exactly.
It's all my free time spent watching shit about other countries' cuisine or like whatever they offer in terms of like just their country.
Yeah,
like so that's my leisure time. Is that I just sit back and I'm just like, fuck, I want to go there. What the hell? Like, it's like, why am I stuck here? Like, but hey, I have to say though, we have Mexican street tacos here in Texas, so we do have some good food. Nothing beats some.
The guitarist in Contemplate, he used to live in the border with Mexico. Actually, he used to live there in the States. Yeah.
Damn.
And we talk about Mexican food, and fuck, man.
There's like nothing beats some al pastor or like a nice fat torta. Like,
fuck, dude, man.
I could. In fact, after this call, I'm gonna be calling an order for some pastor tacos, man. I'm telling you already. Like, let's go.
Fuck, man. I'm proper jealous right now. Like, Iceland has a lot of beautiful things, beautiful places, but food is not one of them. I can tell you that much. There's some stuff that is pretty good, man. The I don't know if you eat meat, but the lamb here is insane. And then the dairy products like skyr, the yogurt that they make here, it's like skyr is like the typical yogurt in Iceland, and it's fucking sick, man.
Oh, man.
Apart from that, meh. Not so good.
I mean, you're still around like a lot of countries that have amazing food, though. Like,
sorry?
You still have a lot of countries like around you that have amazing food, though.
Yeah, I mean, Iceland, you always have to grab a plane because we are an island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Okay, so never mind. It might be a little bit harder to get the good food,
I mean, like in 4 hours flight, you are in Spain. You know, so yeah. And the flights are fairly cheap, so it's fine. I actually travel to Spain at least 4 or 5 times a year. You know, not now with COVID. I haven't been in Spain for 1 year and a half now, but
dang.
Before COVID, I used to go quite often. For sure.
I'd love to go there too, man.
Spain.
Yeah.
Dude, Spain. I mean, Spain is a fucking amazing place to visit, not to live in. But to visit, it's insane.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of places, though. Like, visiting is cool, but like living there is always another whole
different story. Yeah, I mean, it's just the wages, dude. Like, it's stupid. You know, it's fucking ridiculous. Man. But if you travel, you know, shit's cheap, food is amazing, weather is fucking great. You know, Spain has a diversity in landscapes and nature, and it's so fucking diverse. Like,
another place over there I want to go to is Portugal.
Portugal is sick, dude.
Like Libsyn?
Portugal is sick.
I got some friends out there in the Voynich Code. Have you heard of them?
In the
Voynich Code, the band. They're like a deathcore gent band kind of thing, but they're from out there, and I've seen like where they live and stuff. It's fucking beautiful. The food there is amazing. Man. Like,
and they're super nice. Like, the Portuguese people are super fucking nice always. Like,
that's what I've seen. People. I've noticed that too. Yeah,
super nice. But it's
all funny. This talk of travel, and I still can't go anywhere.
Well, dude, I mean, hopefully next year we can all.
I'm hoping so. I know a lot of countries are still barring Americans from flying anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, like no one wants to take Americans in right now because we all got fucking COVID probably. Like, I'm probably carrying it right now. Like, whatever. Like, no, they don't want us, man.
Fuck. Well, hopefully next year is a different story.
Cross my fingers.
This July I'm going to Spain though, like, for sure. I decided to. I just don't care, man. I need to go home. I need to be with my family.
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, that's a long time without your family, dude.
Yeah, it's 1 year and a half already.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, especially at our age, like knowing like how old our parents are. Mm-hmm. Like if I didn't see my folks that long, that's that much time that I've lost, because who knows how well their health is going to be in like 15, 20 years.
I know, dude. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. And
it's scary, man.
It is. My parents are like 70 something already. So
okay, damn, yeah. Yeah, my folks are like just into their 60s, but it's still like once you pass that 60 mark, I get nervous.
Absolutely. From 60 is like, wow, getting old, and every time I go there I can feel it, like I can feel they get older, which fucking sucks, but what can you do?
Yeah, it's a scary thought, man. It's why you got to make with the time you have, but it just sucks when you literally can't do anything about it, because like I said, like in your case especially, it's not like you could fly there.
Now, I mean, before I literally couldn't fly, but now they're opening up a bit, and hopefully I will get the vaccine this month. And yeah, I meant to ask you, because you asked me about how the vaccines are here, but how are they over there in Iceland right now? They're pretty cool. Like they're getting, vaccinations are going fast here.
Okay, so they're pumping them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because I know in some places, like, it's still hard to get. Like, it's still, like, only people that are, like, 65 and up and stuff. Or, like, if you're, like, super young.
Yeah, and in Spain, for example, it's going at a slower pace, for sure. I mean, you can't compare the populations, though. Like, Spain is in 50 million, I think, now.
Yeah.
And Iceland is, like, 360,000.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, my dad got it, though. My dad got the first dose last week. So
very good. Yeah, that I gotta say, that second one, be careful with it, because the next day you are gonna feel like shit. Maybe you won't, but like in my case, I woke up that next day, my temperature dropped from like a 98.7 to like a 95.9. My whole body was so cold, and my whole body was super sore. Like it felt like someone like took my body and just beat the fuck out of it with a bat. And then on top of that, I was just freezing cold because my body temperature dropped. But by the end of that night, so basically like I got the shot at like 11 o'clock that Thursday, and by like that Saturday morning, I felt amazing. I was back. I was like, all right, cool. This is normal. We're good. Awesome.
Well, dude, those are the days that I choose to play video games without feeling how do you say this, guilty about it. Because I can
what
literally
else are you gonna do?
Exactly. Like I can't do anything else, so I would just spend the whole day fucking playing video games. That's cool.
It's the way to do it, my man.
Yeah. But let me check. I have many. I mean, this is always how it goes, these kind of chats. Like I have many questions here, but we always end up like going other places, which is pretty cool.
It just means we're having a good time, brother.
Yeah, exactly. I hate when it's like question, answer, like,
yeah, then it just feels too artificial at that point.
Yeah,
like,
we had one.
I'm not really getting to know you if I'm not having a legitimate one-on-one conversation. If it's just bouncing off like a game of ping pong or whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
That's not getting to know someone.
Exactly. When we released the album, we had a lot of interviews, and some of them were pretty cool. Some other were like, "Fuck, this is awkward as fuck."
No doubt.
Yeah,
man. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've had a couple that are just like, "Why am I still here?" It's like, damn. It's like,
How have you been feeling with the whole pandemic? I bet you have got this question before many fucking times, but to be honest with you, I don't ask this question that often, actually. Because we always talk about like how has your band been during the pandemic and stuff, but I very rarely ask people here, how have you been feeling through the pandemic? You know what I mean?
So I'll tell you outright, I was not okay at first. Because so I'll kind of build up the background for you a little bit. So for example, I think it was like around March 12th last year. That's when they started, like, places all over the world were locking down and stuff, and starting to basically, hey, get the fuck home or you're stuck kind of thing. And so, for example, like, it was like a Friday afternoon, and I'm in the van with him, followed with, and we're hearing President Trump at the time, talk about the pandemic and how they're be shutting down the borders and stuff, and how all this crazy stuff's gonna happen. And it's like, oh fuck, like this is crazy. Like this has never happened in my whole life before. Like even like remembering like 9/11 here in the States. Like there was a certain sense of like mystery and panic that came with the pandemic, where it's just like no one has any clue what's going on. Like things are shutting down. Like people are like being told to get the fuck home before you get stuck wherever. So, anyways, we played the last couple shows. I managed to get my flight home, no problem. And then, yeah, dude, just for the first like 3 or 4 months, 'cause the second I got home from tour, like my boss said, "Hey, welcome back. Here's a laptop. You're working from home now." I'm like, "Oh,
Sick.
okay,
All right.
cool." And then it's just like after like the first month of that, because you got to think like all I'm hearing on TV and on these podcasts or anything else I listen to is just about like how fucked up things are and how like all these places are running out. Like I would literally go to the grocery store, Mario, and there'd be so much gone. Like I don't know if y'all had this problem, but it was terrifying when you're like rushing to the store and like literally watching people like push their carts against other people's carts and freak the fuck out because so the toilet paper's out and all this shit. So no, at first, man, I was not good at first. Like me and my wife were both just like, because my wife was out of work. My wife's a tattoo artist. She did all my tattoos and everything. Like, so she couldn't work anymore. Like she did not work for 3 months. So basically everything was on me financially. And obviously I was stuck in my apartment. I couldn't go anywhere. Like none of us could. I mean, you could technically go places, but like it's not like you could actually go somewhere and enjoy it. So like me going somewhere is going to the grocery store and stressing out because Barbara wants to grab the fucking carrots before I can or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, like I can't grab toilet paper because someone has to grab 12 fucking packages of it because it's the goddamn apocalypse outside. But yeah, no, like it was terrifying, man. In fact, I'm assuming you've heard that first single I put out, Vamp to Black. Like that song and the music video is directly like about like my experience with COVID and how just being at home for so long and isolating yourself and everything kind of just truly eats at your psyche, you know? So like one of the lines in that song, for example, is when hell is your home, every room becomes a mouth. As in kind of like just the idea that like if you're at home, your safe place kind of becomes your bad place because you have no actual means to escape your own problems because you're stuck within your problems. You can't do anything to get rid of those problems. So yeah, no, I mean, just with the sheer panic that came with the pandemic and everything at first, and just the uncertainty of everything, man. It just, yeah, you get my point. Like it was rough at first. Nowadays I'm gravy, dude. I'm fucking great. We're working from home has honestly, like working from home is the reason why I was able to even write and put out the YUNALESCA music. Like I basically, like I said, like it was like that whole experience was sink or swim. I'm either going to sink and wallow in all of this and be in the worst mental state of my life, or I can do something about it. So
fair enough.
I sunk. So like the Strandberg back here, the one right there, like I had just bought that before the pandemic.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, this was the perfect time to fucking buy this. So basically, I was just said, fuck it. I invested in studio monitors, a way better interface. I got a whole bunch of random stuff to basically make myself productive. And in turn, that's how I wrote the YUNALESCA material, is because I refused to be at home with nothing to do and just basically be stuck with my thoughts the whole time, because that's how you get massively depressed. It's just being stuck at home and not doing anything. And so, yeah. Okay. So rolling back, in short, I was not doing good during the pandemic. Now I'm doing all right because the pandemic is almost over, hopefully. Assuming everyone actually gets their shots and stays responsible. I know, for example, here in Texas, they 100% removed any of the mask mandates. So, for example, like, unless you're a business that wants to enforce mask laws, you don't have to do anything. Like, if you don't want to wear a mask for now, you don't have to.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up considering there's a lot of people who either just haven't got their vaccine yet or refuse to get it. Which, again, I get the fear a little bit, of course, but at the same time,
me too. I get why people are concerned about it, but
yeah. it's one of those things where it's just like, if it's gonna prohibit me from living my life, like I'm gonna fucking get it. Like, like I want to live a fucking normal life. Like, if in 20 years I grow a third arm, whatever. Like, no big deal. Like, you know, I also make the joke with everyone since I've gotten both shots now. It's just like, you know, my internet's been a lot better since I got my 5G vaccine. It's just like, I don't know, man. But no, overall, man, I can't complain too much anymore. I think a lot of people grew during the pandemic. I think because, again, like not a lot of people have ever dealt with. I mean, yeah, not a lot of people have ever dealt with what we've been dealing with this. This is so new and foreign to so many people. So, you know, us experiencing it in a way, like, we really had to find our way. And you truly did sink or swim. And honestly, I think I came out better out of it because of the music I got to write, or the time I got to spend at home with my wife and everything. You know, it's like a really bad trip or something, you know, like, you go through all this suck, but then you come out a better person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I think we have a different experience here in Iceland. It wasn't that bad at all. Like, I remember, to be honest with you, I remember the first days or the first months of the pandemic to be really good, actually, for me, because I was not working. I had all the time in the world. I was going for a run every single day, you know.
Man,
I had very good first months, to be honest, during the pandemic.
That's more power to you, man. I wish that was the case. I mean, like I said, my situation became better, but it became better. It didn't start off good.
Yeah. But also, we had way more freedom in Iceland because it wasn't that bad, because we closed the borders pretty soon into the pandemic, and it's an island, you know, it's a small island, so it's way easier to manage.
No doubt.
So the pandemic was not too bad here. And then everyone is super respectful with distances and masks and stuff. I mean, everyone was already socially distant before the pandemic here in Iceland, so it wasn't a problem for sure. But yeah, everyone is super respectful with masks and shit. So
yeah, that's not the case here. I've definitely seen people, like, I went to the mall like 2 weeks ago, and I saw a lady freak the fuck out. She had 3 of her kids with her, and she just freaked out on this poor girl at this store. She's like, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask. None of my kids are wearing a mask. It's like, God damn it, just shut the fuck up, dude. Like, it's not that difficult to put a piece of cloth on your fucking face for like 30 minutes. Get over yourself.
Get fucking over it, man.
It's like, if you can't breathe through a mask, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, it's not that hard. Like, get over yourself.
Danny, the guitarist from Cult of Lilith, just joined the stream. He's saying, what up?
Yo. What up, Danny?
It's funny. He always joins just when we are about to finish. We've been already for 1 hour and 10. I still have some minutes left, but I was wondering, I will ask you still a couple of more questions. Is there anything you would like to ask me or Danny or anyone in the band?
Yeah, how the fuck are y'all so awesome? Like, what the fuck? like share the skill, dude. Like, if I can do that crazy, like, operatic singing shit, I'd be all over it. Like, plus, dude, like, all right, we'll make this like the minute or two of like Cult of Lilith worship, because, like, okay, you on vocals is already fucking stupid, right? But then you got the riffs, bro. The fucking riffs, dude. Like,
the riffs are sick.
Like, listen, people are sleeping on you guys. Like, Metal Blade knows what they're doing by picking you up. I'm just saying.
Fine.
Like, they're ahead of the curve. They don't, like, the rest of the world doesn't know it yet, but Metal Blade's ahead of the curve in terms of picking you guys up. Like, they're early investors. We'll put it that way. You know what I mean?
Like, y'all,
no, I got nothing to say other than y'all are fucking great, dude. And like I said, that's half the reason why I was surprised you wanted to talk to me, because it was like, I had a buddy of mine show y'all's band. I think it was right before that album came out.
My buddy Russ, we got a raid, by the way, and then 200 people are watching right now.
Oh fuck!
Hey.
Oh my god, so many people! What the hell?
If that makes you feel better, these guys talk Spanish for sure, so they won't probably understand what we're saying.
Damn it! Yeah, I have no idea what's being said in the chat right now, so I'm pretty lost myself. It's just like, holy crap, this is all these people.
Buenas chicos, como la otra vez que me hiciste, que me hizo la raid vicio, estoy hablando en inglés porque el chico es de Estados Unidos, así que lo siento si no enteráis un carajo de lo que, de lo que estamos diciendo. Pero muchas gracias por la raid, muchas gracias por los follows también, os agradezco muchísimo. Joder, 240 people, alright.
That's insane. I watched the interview you did with the guy from Hideous Divinity. I saw y'all get rated then too. It was fucking hilarious. I was like, what the fuck? Just out of nowhere, it's like, bam, all these people.
Yeah, it's insane. Twitch is funny like that, dude. It's funny.
Just like,
you know, there's something you were saying before when you were talking about vocals that you got a bit sick of the whole thing. And I think así aprende en inglés, dice. The guy who rated me, he's saying like, okay, now the guys can learn some English with this thing because he's a Spanish streamer. But yeah, you were talking about getting a bit sick of the vocals and stuff, and I think what keeps me kind of wanting to go on with vocals is because I'm interested in so many different genres and stuff and different styles. Yeah. And I think that's what makes me go on, you know, or like being excited about studying singing. Because there's so much, you know, it's so fucking huge. Like now I'm getting super into the operatic style, of course. In the last month, I'm getting like way more into it, you know, like studying and stuff. And it's just so huge. It's such a completely different thing, you know.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's so much to that whole world of vocals. And it probably is my problem is that for like 10 years, all I fucking did was put out shit with screaming on it. Which my album, like, I want to say like a third of it's singing, which no one's gonna expect because nothing I've put out ever has singing on it. By the way, I've never put out a song with singing.
So it's your first album with singing on it.
Yeah. So like when like all these people hear Vanta Black, that first song I put out, they're like, oh fuck, this is super heavy. They're gonna hear this other stuff and be like, what? What are you doing? But no, I understand that. That's kind of what I've been doing with this too. Is that like I'm kind of needing to tap into new stuff myself because I am getting bored of the monotony that comes with just screaming all the time.
It's also my personality though. Like I understand, I respect completely if people, you know, want to stick to a genre. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You know? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of my personality. You know, like I need to explore and I'm so fucking curious about everything. You know.
I mean, it just helps to want to keep things fresh anyways, not only for yourself, but like as a band, you want to break the mold from yesterday. You want to do something different. You shouldn't want to just recreate the same thing over and over again. And that's kind of the biggest problem with music right now anyways, that it's so oversaturated with the same shit over and over again. Like even what I'm doing, like it's not very groundbreaking. It's my flavor of it, sure, but I'm not doing anything groundbreaking. Like, and that's the thing is that like we need more people like you or other people who just completely break that mold of the general monotony of what a vocalist does or is.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. To be honest with you, it was never my goal, you know, to really break anything or to be different or anything. It's just I'm curious, you know. It's just like the thing with traveling, you know. I just want to try to understand, and I just want to discover different cultures, like different styles, and
you're just always learning.
Yeah, which it also has its downsides, which is, you know, I never go too deep into something, you know, because I am always like jumping from thing to thing, right?
Exactly.
But I mean, I have also come to understand, like I'm almost 33 now, and one of the things that I've come to understand is this is also part of my personality. You know, I'm not very consistent with the stuff that I do. I like to jump from thing to thing. Yeah. And I've always punished myself for that, you know. But I have come to learn that it doesn't have to be a bad thing, you know. It's just part of my personality. This is who I am, and I'm 33 now. I'm not going to change it, you know.
Exactly.
I'm trying to be more consistent in certain stuff, but
I mean, that's a better thing anyways. Like, you don't want to like just become the same thing for the rest of your life anyways. Like, you should always want to learn and evolve and change. Like, you shouldn't, like, me right now, I don't want to be this when I'm like 50 years old. I want to be something different. Maybe like a revised, better version of me, maybe. But I don't want to be this. I want to be higher up the ladder.
You will,
You
for
know?
sure. You know, I mean, it's natural. You know, no one, or it's very rare that you are like a worse version of yourself when you grow.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. It does happen.
Absolutely happens.
It does happen.
I've seen the best people just
Going,
plateau.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well,
happens,
I mean,
man.
before we finish, I always ask our guests to tell something, and in your case is better than anyone because you are doing this by yourself, which I have tons of respect for. I told you already.
Thank you.
Of having the whole thing almost by yourself. I know you're counting on a drummer and stuff, but the whole marketing and stuff is you basically, right? With YUNALESCA.
Yeah, it's
Pretty much.
a lot of me sitting at my desk being like, how the fuck am I going to afford all this?
Yeah, pretty much. So
yeah, no, it's hard.
What advice do you have for people who are, you know, potentially starting a band or starting a project in music or in art in general? What are what's your advice?
I guess the biggest thing, man, you have to believe in yourself. If your foundation, if you yourself don't believe in what you're doing, nothing's gonna come of it. Like you don't have to assume that like for say like in my shoes, like I don't have to sit here and be like I'm gonna be the biggest and best thing ever. Like that's not how that works. Like, but you need to be able to be like I have something that I can offer. I have an ability that is worth something. You have to find that self-value within yourself, because if you don't have that, you have nothing. Like if I didn't believe in myself or YUNALESCA or anything that I've written, then like I want to be trying so hard. I want to be throwing money at this and just I would assume that if I throw money at it, it would just burn, you know? But that's not the case, since I have some sort of faith in myself as a musician. Having faith in myself in terms of marketing PR is a little bit of a different story, but you know, that's just one of those things you kind of have to figure out, and that's the biggest part of just having, you know, people who followed you anyways. Because if I had done this without any of my musical experience or without any of like the fans or friends that I've made along the way, like say I wasn't in Hell Follow With or any of those other projects first, me doing this right now, it wouldn't go anywhere. I would have like 5 views on it. But because I've had this musical journey and I've been able to build up that confidence over the time, I've been able to finally make that leap of faith to do this project. Yeah. I've always wanted to do this. In fact, in 2013, I had a whole other 10-track album recorded, and it never saw the light of day, and I still not have done anything with it, just because I didn't have faith in it. But after like 2015, 2016, I started getting traction, and that's when I started building that faith. But that was my faith in me as a vocalist. But now that I've had all this time to do that, I've been able to build up my faith again, and I can tell myself, because here's the deal, man, like going back to answer your question, doing this shit alone is hard. It's daunting. There is so many fucking things I would not have thought of until I've been going through the motions of putting this stuff out. Like, it's just so many layers to all of it, and
I know
it really is so much to handle, especially as one person. But if you're willing to be motivated and to try to just persevere, and like I said, like I'm not entirely doing this alone. I have a almost like a team of people. I guess they're people I've hired, but I consider them my team because they're helping me bring my vision to life. So that's like I see them as more than just people who are like I'm paying a service for. Yeah. It's people who are helping me bring my reality to life. So I don't know. The point in case is, man, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have that confidence, because you don't have that confidence, there's no gas to start the engine.
It sounds cliche, but it's all about that. Actually, it's literally all about that, about believing in the stuff you're putting out.
And that's the thing too. And I know for some people that's hard to do. Like I know some of those talented people who aren't doing anything right now because of their levels of self-doubt. Like I literally know people who are like virtuoso level guitarists, and they just haven't done anything with it because of their doubt. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah. You have to shadow that doubt. You have to put it to the side.
Absolutely.
Like by no means do I think I'm the greatest vocalist or the greatest musician, but I don't have to think that to produce things. I just have to believe in myself and be like, this is good enough for me. It harkens back to that whole thing where it's just like, I want to make the music I want to make. And if you're not doing that, and if you're not finding that appreciation for your own shit, then yeah, you're not going to do anything.
Exactly. Like, if I'm honest with you, you know, as I was telling you before, just before we started, I started writing vocals for Mara, the album.
Yeah.
My thoughts were like, I give up, you know, quote unquote. And
yeah,
I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. I don't know how the album is going to come out, but I'm just going to really enjoy this and just do whatever I really want to listen in an album, right? Absolutely. And if I'm honest, when we got the mix from Dave Otero, the producer, I thought, wow. I did
this.
The mix of the album is like beyond. It was way beyond my expectations. So I was like, okay, I think this album could take us to places. You know, I think it's the first time ever that I was not having self-doubt. You know, it was the first time ever that I said like, okay, this is proper shit.
And that's the thing. That's the thing too. To anyone listening that gives a fuck about being a musician, spend some money on your mix and master.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely,
dude, it makes all the difference is in that. Like, I'm not even that much of a production snob, but if you have a bad mix, you are going to push people away from listening.
There's no worse feeling than working so fucking much in an album and then the mixing fucking it up and you feel awful. Like all that work and then the final touch is, you know, at the end is super important.
It is. I think a lot of people overlook that kind of stuff. They don't realize how important it is. Like, I mean, I think everyone, not everyone, but like there's people in the world who have this notion that if you have good music, that's all you need, which it's kind of a boomer mentality, if we're being honest. like nowadays you can't just have good music. It's so much more than that. And it makes it all the more difficult to want to do music, especially with how oversaturated music is. But again, like, if you want to get anywhere, you have to know what cards to play, and you have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree totally with that. All right, Andrew, it's been a fucking pleasure. For people watching this either right now live or after watching YouTube, check out YUNALESCA.
Yes,
Andrew is gonna be releasing stuff now, more singles. Are you gonna release like every month, or what's your plan with that?
So this is like new information because I haven't really made this public yet. But fuck it, here you go.
If you can, no, that's completely fine.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine, dude. It's a solo. Listen, Mario. It's a solo project. It's not that deep. The point in case is, though, for those who are interested in anything I have to put out, there's a single out right now, Fanta Black. It's streaming everywhere.
Yes.
In the middle of May is when I announced the album. The album will come out in July, and there will be 4 singles. That's all you need to know. So there's plenty of music coming. Cool. Plenty of music coming.
Awesome.
More music videos. I've invested way too much money and way too much time in this. But hey, listen, like I said, at the end of the day, if a handful of people fucking love it and they listen to it, I'm happy, man.
I'm sure they will.
So go stream YUNALESCA.
Yes. Everyone go. All right, Andrew, it's been a fucking pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you
so much for having me.
For your time. It's been my pleasure. And we'll definitely be in touch. And whenever you guys want to come to Reykjavik, hit me up.
You got to show me around, man.
I will definitely show you guys the good places.
Excellent.
And the good lamb and the good skir.
Yes, please. All
right, man. See you soon. We'll be in touch.
Yes.
All right.
Take care, dude.
See ya. Bye.